Hello, hi. Today's class is chlamydial conjunctivitis part 2. Clinical features of trachoma. Clinical features of trachoma can be described into two phases. Phase 1, phase of active trachoma. Phase 2, phase of cicatricial trachoma. Let's see phase 1, phase of active trachoma. Phase of active trachoma usually occurs during childhood due to active chlamydial infection. Incubation period of active trachoma varies from 5 to 22 days. Onset of disease is usually insidious, that is subacute. Rarely it may present in acute form. The symptoms and signs of phase 1 and phase 2 are different. Now we will see the symptoms of phase 1 active trachoma. The symptoms of active trachoma are determined by the absence or presence of secondary bacterial infection. In the absence of secondary infection, a pure trachoma is characterized by following symptoms: mild foreign body sensation, occasional lacrimation, slight stickiness of the lids, and scanty mucoid discharge. In the presence of secondary bacterial infection, typical symptoms of acute mucopurulent conjunctivitis develop. Signs of phase 1. A. Conjunctival signs. Congestion of upper tarsal and fornical conjunctiva. Conjunctival follicles look like boiled sago grains and are commonly seen on upper tarsal conjunctiva and fornix, but may also be present in the lower fornix, plica semilunaris, and caruncle. Sometimes follicles may be seen on the bulbar conjunctiva, that is pathognomonic of trachoma. Structure of follicle, which is pathognomonic of trachoma. Follicles are formed due to scattered aggregation of lymphocytes and other cells in the adenoid layer. Central part of each follicle is made up of mononuclear histocytes, few lymphocytes, and large multinucleated cells called Leber cells. Here in this picture you can see the follicles. The cortical part is made up of zone of lymphocytes showing active proliferation. Blood vessels are present in the most peripheral part. In later stages, signs of necrosis are also seen. Presence of Leber cells and signs of necrosis differentiate trachoma follicles from follicles of other forms of follicular conjunctivitis. Third conjunctival sign is papillary hyperplasia. Papillae are reddish, flat-topped, raised areas which give red and velvety appearance to the tarsal conjunctiva. Each papilla consists of central core of numerous dilated blood vessels surrounded by lymphocytes and covered by hypertrophic epithelium. Phase 1 active trachoma. B. Corneal signs. Superficial keratitis may be present in the upper part. Herbert's follicles refer to typical follicles present in the limbal area. These are histologically similar to conjunctival follicles. Third corneal sign is progressive pannus, that is, infiltration of the cornea associated with vascularization is seen in upper part. The vessels are superficial and lie between epithelium and Bowman's membrane. Later on, Bowman's membrane is also destroyed. Pannus in active trachoma is progressive, in which infiltration of cornea is ahead of vascularization. Fourth one is corneal ulcer. Corneal ulcer may sometimes develop at the advancing edge of pannus. Such ulcers are usually shallow, which may become chronic and indolent. This is about the phase 1 acute trachoma. Next we will go to the second phase. Phase 2 phase of cicatricial trachoma. Cicatricial phase of trachoma manifests in middle age. It results due to continued mild grade chronic inflammation. In fact, recurrent infection elicits chronic immune response consisting of cell-mediated delayed hypersensitivity, that is type 4 reaction, to the intermittent presence of chlamydial antigen, which is responsible for cicatricial phase of trachoma. The end stage of cicatricial trachoma is also referred to as sequelae of trachoma. Phase 2 clinical features. A. Conjunctival signs. In that, first one is conjunctival scarring, which may be irregular, star-shaped or linear. Linear scar present in the sulcus subtarsalis is called All's line. Second, concretions are hard-looking whitish deposits varying from pinpoint to 2 mm in size. Other conjunctival sequelae include concretions, pseudocyst, cirrhosis, and symblepharon. In this picture, you can see trachomatis scarring and concretions in upper palpebral conjunctiva. B. Corneal sign. Regressive pannus, pannus siccus, in which vessels extend a short distance beyond the area of infiltration. Hubbard pits are the oval or circular pitted scars left after healing of Hubbard follicle in the limbal area. Next one is corneal opacity. Corneal opacity may be present in the upper part. It may even extend down and involve the papillary area. It is the end result of trachomatis corneal lesions. Fourth one, other corneal sequelae may be corneal ectasia, corneal cirrhosis, and total corneal pannus, that is blinding sequelae. Picture you can see trachomatis Hubbard pits and trachomatis corneal opacity. See lid signs. Sequelae in the lids may be trichiasis, entropion, tylosis, that is thickening of lid margin, ptosis, medrosis, and ankyloblepharon. D. Lacrimal apparatus. Sequelae may be chronic dacryocystitis and chronic dacryoadenitis. Grading of trachoma. Macallan's classification. Macallan in 1908 divided the clinical course of trachoma into 4 stages. Stage 1, incipient trachoma or stage of infiltration. It is characterized by hyperemia of palpebral conjunctiva and immature follicles. Stage 2, established trachoma or stage of florid infiltration. It is characterized by appearance of mature follicles, papillae, and progressive corneal pannus. Stage 3, cicatrizing trachoma or stage of scarring. It includes obvious scarring of palpebral conjunctiva. Stage 4, healed trachoma or stage of sequelae. The disease is quiet and cured, but sequelae due to cicatrization give rise to symptoms. WHO classification of trachoma. The latest simplified classification suggested by WHO in 1987 is as follows. The mnemonic is FISTO, F-I-S-T-O. First stage is trachomatis inflammation follicular type, TF. It is the stage of active trachoma with predominantly follicular inflammation. To diagnose this stage, at least 5 or more follicles, each 0.5 mm or more in diameter, must be present on the upper tarsal conjunctiva. Further, the deep tarsal vessels should be visible through the follicles and papillae. Second one, TI, trachomatis inflammation intense. This stage is diagnosed when pronounced inflammatory thickening of the upper tarsal conjunctiva obscures more than half of the normal deep tarsal vessels. Third stage, TS, trachomatis scarring. Stage is diagnosed by the presence of scarring in the tarsal conjunctiva. These scars are easily visible as white bands or sheets in the tarsal conjunctiva. These scars are formed due to fibrosis. Fourth one, TT, that is trachomatis trichiasis. Trachomatis trichiasis is labeled when at least one eyelash rubs the eyeball. Evidence of recent removal or interned eyelashes should also be graded as trachomatis trichiasis. The last fifth stage is corneal opacity. This stage is labeled when easily visible corneal opacity is present over the pupil. Sign refers to corneal scarring that is so dense that at least part of pupil margin is blurred when seen through the opacity. The definition is intended to detect corneal opacities that cause significant visual impairment less than 6 by 18. Complications of trachoma. The only complication of trachoma is corneal ulcer, which may occur due to rubbing by concretions or trichiasis with superimposed bacterial infection. Thank you for listening. It's not over. Part 3 is there. Wait for that. Bye bye.